Okay. Haribol. One second. I just need to Nari Hari Prabhu and Pavatarani Mataji and Kishore were just here, but then I had to end everything because let me just focus for 1 second. Okay, now everything is working. All right, it's now all working. Sorry about that, everybody. God, it's so much trouble, and I just forget to paste one little thing. God. Well, I just did a full long Jaidwani, and I'm not going to do it again because it's getting late. So, but yeah, sorry about that, everybody. Um, all right. So I'm gonna share my screen. Dandavat Pranams, Champak Mataji, Shubhananda Prabhu, Nari Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Kishore Krishna Prabhu. And let's see if anybody joined yet on Zoom and YouTube. I mean, I just went live there, so probably not. But oh yeah, alrighty. Oh, Hare Krishna, Sachi Prabhu and Raseshwari Mataji. Kishore Krishna is there also. Cool. Vangsiwala Prabhu, Hari Priya Didi. Everybody, Dandavat Pranams. Thanks for waiting, everybody. That was so dumb of me. Okay. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. All right. So we are reading from this beautiful book. This book, Śrī Caitanya and His Associates by Srila Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha Gosvāmī Mahārāja. I highly recommend anybody who comes to India, you can get this book for a lot cheaper now. And it's all been updated, like to be more accurate, more close to the Bengali translation, to the original Bengali. All right, so Śrīla Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī. Anangamanjari Yasit. Today is the appearance day of Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī, disappearance day of Rāmacandra Kavirāja. And also, wait, let me just open up the calendar for a second. Do you know, Kishore Prabhu, anything about, we read about Nayanananda Das Babaji Maharaj, right? I think we
He
read about
was
him in A Life of Devotion and somewhere else.
was a disciple of Bhakti Saraswati Prabhupada, and he took Babji Vesh from Srila Bhakti Puri Maharaj, and he had a lot of association with Bhakti Puri Maharaj. A very humble and sweet Vaishnav.
Okay, great. Maybe we can also look to see if we can find uh, um I remember reading something about him in, I think it was in A Life of Devotion. So we can look there. Is there anything on Vishuddha Chaitanya Vani? I didn't check. Anyways, later
No,
on. Well, okay, no, okay. So we'll read about Śrīla Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī first. This is by
he
Bhakti
shared his
Ballabha.
memory. He shared his memories in Mula Prakriti's book on Srila Prabhupada.
Ah, perfect. Okay, we can read from that then. Great. Okay. Anangamanjari Yasit Sadhya Gopala Bhattaka Bhatta Goswaminam Kechit Ahushi Gunamanjarim. She who is formerly Ananga Manjari has appeared to enrich Mahaprabhu's pastimes as Srila Gopala Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī. Some say that Gopala Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī is actually Guna Manjari. That's what I'm used to hearing. So that's from Gaura 184. Srila Gopala Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī appeared in 1500 AD, although according to some authorities, he appeared in 1503 as the son of Venkata Bhatta in the town of Sri Rangam in South India. Their residence was in a village not far from Śrī Rangam, called Belgundi, on the banks of river Kaveri. According to Bhakti Ratnakar, Mahaprabhu gave Gopāla Bhaṭṭa a dream vision through which he could witness all of his Navadvip pastimes. Though Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī was an eternal associate of Krishna, he appeared in a faraway place in order to make a special contribution to Lord Gauranga's pastimes. Thus, even though he was living too far away to know anything about the Lord directly, he was still able to know long before he met the Lord in person that he had appeared and taken sannyas. Gopāla Bhaṭṭa did not particularly like the Lord's appearance as a sannyasi. This austere form distressed Gopāla Bhaṭṭa, who was thus crying alone when the Lord appeared to him and gave him the vision of his pastimes in Navadvip. He then took Gopāla Bhaṭṭa on his lap and drenched him with tears. He must have been very young at that time also, right? That's my memory when okay. The Lord then embraced Gopāla Bhaṭṭa and drenched him with his tears. He then told Gopal to keep all these revelations a secret. Gopāla Bhaṭṭa's mind was absorbed in a state of intense joy. That's from Bhakti Ratnakar, first chapter, verses 123 to 124. The Lord's teachings to Gopāla Bhaṭṭa's father. Oh, and Kishore said that he was either 11 to 12 years old. Okay. Okay, in 1950, one second, let me just move this over here so I can see the comments. Hari bol Vidyalala Sadidi. There. Okay. Okay, so in 1510, Mahaprabhu made his auspicious entrance to the pilgrimage city of Śrī Rangam. He was invited by Venkata Bhatta, a Vaishnav of the Śrī Sampradaya, to spend the 4 months of the Chaturmasya in his house. Knowing him to be a strict Vaishnav, Mahaprabhu accepted his invitation. In fact, the Lord's pastime of coming to Śrī Rangam and staying at Venkata Bhatta's home was to give his mercy to Gopāla Bhaṭṭa and his family, for the Lord knew that Gopāla Bhaṭṭa, his eternal companion, had appeared there. At this time, Gopāla Bhaṭṭa was still a young boy. He was fortunate enough to be able to serve the Lord by massaging his feet. Even though he was satisfied with Venkata Bhaṭṭa and his family's service, the Lord observed that Venkata Bhaṭṭa had an element of pride in his object of worship. He believed that his worshipable deity, Lakshmi Narayan, was the supreme worshipable object. That Narayan was the source of all other avatars, including Krishna, Ram, and Nrsimha. His reasoning was that Narayan is never born, while Krishna and Ram take birth in the world. He thus thought, Mahaprabhu worships Krishna, the avatar of Narayan, while we worship Narayan, the source of all avatars. As Madhusudan is a destroyer of false pride, Mahaprabhu finally decided one day that he would do so for Venkata Bhatta. He asked him in a mild-humored, witty tone. Mahaprabhu said, Venkata Bhatta, I hear that no one is equal in opulence to your Lord Narayan. The same is true for your worshipable goddess Lakshmi Devi. On the other hand, the object of my worship, Krishna, has no opulence of any kind. He wears garlands of wild forest flowers and uses peacock feathers for decoration. He is the son of Nanda Gopa and spends his day grazing the cows with the other cowherd boys. My worshipable goddesses, the gopis, are also nothing but poor cowherd girls. I wonder, therefore, why your worshipable Lakshmi Devi came to Vrindavan to perform austerities in the hope of gaining Krishna's company in the rasa dance. Venkata Bhatta immediately answered, What's wrong with that? Radha's beloved Krishna is not different from Lakshmi Devi's husband Narayan. Siddhantatas tvabedapi Shrisha Krishna Sarupayo Rasenot Krishyate Krishna Rupam Esha Rasastiti. Though, according to theological doctrine, Krishna and the husband of Lakshmi are identical in essence, the form of Krishna is superior when analyzed from the point of view of divine sentiment. That's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1-59. Oh, Haribol Mahi Bharat Prabhu. Dandavat pranams. Okay, so since the divine sentiment in Krishna is superior, there is no fault if Lakshmi Devi chooses to seek his association and performs austerities to that end. Venkata Bhatta said. Mahaprabhu answered, I am not saying that there is any fault. I agree that ontologically, Krishna and Narayan are identical. The difference between them is based on the variety of ras, transcendental taste or mood. When the Lord performs pastimes of opulence, he is Narayan. When he performs pastimes of sweetness, he is Krishna. She who is Radha in Krishna's pastimes is Lakshmi Devi in the pastimes of Narayan. Thus, when Lakshmi Devi performs austerities to have the association of Krishna, there is no question of her breaking her vows of fidelity to her husband. Thus, she wants to perform these austerities in Vrindavan. But I have another question for you. Why, even after trying so hard through such penances, etc., she's trying so hard to enter Krishna's Ras Leela, why was Lakshmi Devi still unable to do so? Venkata Bhatta was terribly distressed at being unable to give the Lord an answer. Mahaprabhu observed his distress and tried to pacify him by saying, You yourself said that Narayan and Krishna are identical ontologically, but that the superiority of Krishna is due to the excellence in rasas. Narayan is involved in 2.5 of the 5 principal rasas, whereas in Krishna, there is a complete manifestation of all 12 rasas, the 5 principal and 7 secondary sentiments. Since Narayan's pastime is primarily one of opulence and majesty, Aishwarya, his principal devotee is Lakshmi Devi, who also worships him in the appropriate mood of awe and reverence. The same Lakshmi Devi is Radhika in order to heighten the experience of conjugal love. Unless one follows in the footsteps of Radha and her expansions, the gopis, who are the repositories of the transcendental divine love, it is impossible to relish Krishna's sweet qualities. Lakshmi Devi, however, did not follow in the gopis' footsteps, but continued to perform her austerities in the mood of awe and reverence. As a result, she repeatedly found herself in the company of Narayan and never in that of Krishna. By way of contrast, the Shrutis followed the gopis in the Rag Marg, and so they were ultimately able to achieve Krishna's service in that mood. As long as one continues to think of Krishna in majestic terms as Lord and Controller, one cannot possibly worship in the spirit of Raganuga Bhakti. Haribol Sudevi Didi. Mahaprabhu said, Krishna has one extraordinary characteristic. By his sweetness, he attracts the minds of the entire world. By taking on the mood of the Vrajagopis, one can attain to his lotus feet. The people of Vraj have no idea that Krishna is the Lord and Controller. Some think of him as their son and even tie him to a mortar, while others take him to be their friend and climb on his shoulders. The people of Vraj only know him as the son of Nanda, whereas in the attitude of awe and reverence, the devotee does not have a concept of such a relationship with him. One who takes the attitude of a resident of Vraj will attain Krishna as the son of the king of Vraj in Vrindavan. That's from Chaitanya Charitamrita. That was all from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 9, verses 127 to 131. And now we're reading a quote from Bhakti Ratnakar. When the gopis, the objects of my worship, were abandoned by Krishna in the Ras dance, They began to cry in the intensity of their distress at not seeing him. Krishna came to them in the form of Narayan, but the gopis simply paid their obeisances and moved on in search of Krishna, showing absolutely no interest in him as a lover. When Radharani stood before the disguised Krishna, however, he could not maintain the four-armed form, but once again appeared in his form as the holder of the flute. Such is the power of Radharani's love. What's the footnote say? It says, oh, the place where this happened is near Govardhan in a place called, hey, it says Paishadam. It's Paitagram. Yeah, that's what I'm used to hearing. Paitagram, which means the place of entering, because Krishna's two extra arms merged back into his body here. Ah, I didn't know that. That's why it's called that. Means. Oh. Okay. Nandanandan Krishna is the avatari, or the source of all avatars. Narayan, Ram, Nrsimha, etc. are all his avatars and expansions. Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is from Caitanya Charitamrita. Only the personality of Godhead is the source of all other divinities. Only that Supreme Personality of Godhead is eligible to be designated Swayam Bhagavan, or the primeval Lord. That's from Madhya Lila, verse 88. Ete changsa kalapungsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Vridayanti Yuge Yuge. All of the previously mentioned forms of the Lord are either plenary expansions or partial expansions of plenary expansions, but Krishna alone is the original personality of Godhead. All of them appear in every age to protect the saints whenever the enemies of the gods disturb them. First canto, third chapter, verse 28 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Gopāla Bhaṭṭa's guru. Through the power of Śrī Krishna Caitanya, Mahaprabhu's merciful through the power of Śrī Krishna Caitanya Mahaprabhu's merciful association, Venkata Bhatta, his brother Prabodhananda Saraswati, his son Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī, and all the other members of his family were inspired to give up the worship of Lakshmi Narayan and become engaged in the exclusive devotional service of Radha and Krishna. Śrīla Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī took initiation from his uncle, Tridandiyati Srimad Prabodhananda Saraswati. Proof of this is found in the Hari Bhakti Vilas. Bhakter Vilasang Chinute Prabodha Nandasya Shishyo Bhagavat Priyasya Gopāla Bhaṭṭo Raghunatha Dasam Santoshayan Rupa Sanatanocha. I, Gopāla Bhaṭṭa, the disciple of Prabodhananda Saraswati, who is dear to the Lord, have compiled this most essential and glorious devotional doctrine. I have compiled these most essential and glorious devotional doctrines to satisfy Raghunath Das Goswami, Rupa Goswami, and Sanatan Goswami. So that's the second verse of Hari Bhakti Vilas. It's Mangala Charan. And now here's a quote from Bhakti Ratnakar. Gopāla Bhaṭṭa's parents were very fortunate, for they surrendered themselves, their life and soul, to the feet of Lord Caitanya. They ordered their son to go to Vrindavan before they left this world, absorbed in meditating on the Lord. Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī traveled directly to Vrindavan, where he met with Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. First chapter of Bhakti Ratnakar, verses 163 to 165. Gopāla Bhaṭṭa comes to Vrindavan. When Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī arrived in Vrindavan, Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami wrote to Mahaprabhu to tell him. The Lord was overjoyed and immediately wrote back, telling them to affectionately take care of him as though he were their own younger brother. Srila Sanatana Goswami compiled the Hari Bhakti Vilas and published it in Śrī Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī's name. Rupa Goswami considered Gopāla Bhaṭṭa to be as dear to him as his own life, and engaged him in the worship of the Radharaman deity. Wow, Rupa Goswami engaged him in the worship of Radharaman. Interesting. Okay, Srila Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī became one of the 6 Goswamis, but he always kept an attitude of meekness and humility. Thus, when Krishnadas Kavirāja Goswami approached him for permission to write Śrī Chaitanya Charitamrita, he granted it, but under the condition that he would not write about him. Krishnadas Kavirāja Goswami could not go against the order of Gopāla Bhaṭṭa, and thus did nothing more than mention his name. That would have been so neat to know more about Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Goswami. Anyhow. Śrī Jiva Goswami, I bet they're like really amazing leelas. I mean, of course there are. Anyways, we'll have to do bhajan and have it be revealed to us if we ever want to see them. Śrī Jiva Goswami writes in the introduction to the Shat Sandarbha that he wrote it on the basis of an earlier text by Gopāla Bhaṭṭa. Srila Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Goswami also wrote a book called the Sat Kriyasar Dipika, the light on the essential sacraments for the Vaishnavas. Thus, his contribution to Gaudiya Vaishnava literature was in editing the Hari Bhakti Vilas, preparing the notes for Jiva Goswami's Shat Sandarbha, and in compiling the Sat Kriyasar Dipika. Actually, I think Jiva Goswami says that, yeah, he is the author, and I forgot how he wrote it, but like he's just an editor of the book. But really, he's just the one who, I think he said that there was some sections missing and some, like he did some like things like that, like added some things and sections that were missing, and he organized it. But really, it's Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Goswami's work, the Shat Sandarbhas. Like he's the author of it. Okay. He also gave great joy to the community of devotees by writing a commentary on Bilva Mangal Thakur's Krishna Karnamrita. Amongst his disciples were Srinivasacharya and Śrī Gopinath Pujari. The following story is told about Gopinath Pujari becoming Gopāla Bhaṭṭa's disciple. One day, Gopāla Bhaṭṭa went to visit the town of Saharanpur, not far from Haridwar. On that occasion, a simple, devoted Brahmin engaged in his service in a most unpretentious manner. He had no children, but desired to have a son. Srila Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Goswami knew the desire of the Brahmin and blessed him that he would have a devotionally minded male child. The Brahmin promised Śrī Gopāla Bhaṭṭa that he would give him his first son to be his servant and disciple. This son was Gopinath Pujari. It is said that Mahaprabhu had such affection for Gopāla Bhaṭṭa that he sent him his own belt and kopin, as well as a wooden seat which he had used. These items are still worshipped in the Radharaman temple by the current sevaks. Well, I didn't even know that. Shri Radharaman. Hari Bol, Hari Priya Didi. When Srila Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Goswami was visiting the pilgrimage centers of northern India, he found a Shalagram Shila on the banks of the Gandaki River. He took the Shalagram Shila as Vrajendra Nandan Krishna himself and worshipped him. One day, he thought if his Shalagram Shila were a deity, he could dress and decorate the Lord beautifully. On the very next day, he found that the Shalagram Shila had transformed into the Śrī Radharaman deity to fulfill the wish of his devotee. This deity stands alone without any form of Radha standing by his side. Instead, as a symbol of Radharani, a silver crown is placed on his left side. I think it's so interesting how, like in Vrindavan, actually we say Radha Damodar, don't we? But usually you say Govinda Dev, Madan Mohan, You don't usually say Radha Govinda Dev or Radha Madan Mohan like that. But and they all have Radharani by their side. But Radharaman, his name is Radharaman, right? He who revels in, who delights in the, how would he say? Shivas once translated the romancer of Radha, Raman romance. Anyways, yeah, I guess that is Krishna's name though. Like the Radha is part of the name. Okay. So instead, as a symbol of Radharani, a silver crown is placed on his left side. This story is also told in the following way. It is said that Śrīla Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī used to daily worship 12 shaligrams. He developed a desire to serve the Lord in the form of a deity, thinking So he developed a desire to serve the Lord in the form of a deity, thinking that in this way he would be able to worship him in a much better way. The Lord within his heart knew his feelings, and through a rich merchant, he had many beautiful items used in the worship of the deity, such as ornaments and clothes sent to him. Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī began to worry that all these beautiful objects could not be used properly unless the shaligrams took a deity form. That night, he put the shaligrams to rest, and in the morning, he saw that one of them had been transformed into the deity of the Śrī. One of them had been transformed into the Śrī Radharaman deity. And you can see right next to Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī's samadhi is the place. There's like a special place that they kept. And that's where Radharaman manifested. When Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami heard that Krishna had so mercifully appeared to Gopāla Bhaṭṭa, they immediately came with the other devotees for darshan. And when they saw him, they were ecstatic with love. The annual festival commemorating Radharaman's appearance when he is bathed publicly takes place on the full moon day of Vaishak. The Radharaman temple is considered one of the most important in Sri Vrindavan. Śrīla Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī ended his earthly pastimes on the Krishna Panchami of Ashad of 1507 of the Shaka era, that's 1586 AD. His Samadhi temple is behind the current Radharaman temple. By reading Srinivasacharya's hymn to the six Goswamis, the Shad Goswami Ashtakam, we can understand their glories. Maybe we can sing that at the end. Oh, Hare Krishna, what is it? Devagna Sharma Ji, Hare Krishna. Okay. So that was Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī. There's also, what is it called? It's a Panchakam. So 5 verses about Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī. I forgot what it's written by. Let me see. I think I could find it in 1 second. I wonder if Srivas translated it, actually. Let's look really quick. Dyuti Vistar. This is an old file that Srivas sent me a long time ago of his translations for all the Sanskrit verses in Gaudiya Stotra. Let's see if it's here. Gopāla. Yes, he did translate it. Okay, this is a raw translation that has never been checked before. Cool. Let's sing this. Let me get my mridang. Oh, my mridang is right there. Oh wow, and there's also Gopāla Bhaṭṭashtakam, written by Śrīla Krishna Kavirāja Gosvāmī. Cool. 2 things written by Śrīla Krishna Kavirāja Gosvāmī. I guess because he wasn't able to put Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī in the Caitanya Charitamrita, but he wanted to glorify him. So. Okay. So let's make this big. Not like that font. Let's make it, I like Ballabha. How do we sing this? Niravadi Hari Bhakti Kyapane Yasya Shakti. Okay, that's the meter. Let's read this. Okay, so You're other than Srivas, you're the first people to be seeing this translation. Other than Srivas who translated it. But nobody else has seen this. Okay. May Śrī Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī, who has the potency to elaborate endlessly on the topic of devotion to Śrī Hari, who is constantly experiencing transcendental reality and is therefore entirely indifferent to the perishable objects of the senses, and whose home and family were blessed to host Sriman Mahaprabhu, manifest in my heart. May Śrī Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī, who in the land of Raj is renowned as Śrī Guna Manjari, who has incarnated out of compassion for the people of Kali Yuga, and who is engaged in relishing and preaching the unique delight of Madhur Ras, manifest in my heart. The endless stream of tears and perspiration trickling over his beautiful limbs is most enchanting. Profound bouts of ecstasy raise the hairs on his body and cause him to tremble uncontrollably, or at other times stun him motionless, resulting in him stuttering, "Ha, ha, ha, Hari," and then falling unconscious. Ha, 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 Hari. See, it's right there. May that Śrī Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī manifest in my heart. As he relishes the moods he tastes in Vraj, he dances, laughs, and sings madly, sometimes appearing utterly perplexed, and at other times, as per the order of Sriman Mahaprabhu, he manifests an external awareness to uplift people in the age of Kali. May that Śrī Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī manifest in my heart. Adept in the meanings of each and every line of scripture and the essence of bhakti ras, he is capable of relishing the different ras flavors of rati, divine love, which are the reservoirs of bhakti, which are the reservoirs of that bhakti. This hymn destroys all the darkness in the heart of the practicing devotee. Whoever reads this gem-like prayer will enter the entourage of the Manjaris. All right. This is the Śrīmad Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī Stava Panchakam. Okay, let me just get the mridanga and then we'll sing it. Actually, wait, I need to turn off noise suppression so that you could hear the mridanga. There you go. Okay. All right, 1 second. Okay. Niravadi Hari Bhakti Khyapane Yasya Shakti Satata Sadanubhutir Nashvararte Virakti Prabhuvaragati Sobhagyena Vikhyata Partha Spurato Sahriti Meko Swami Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Vraja bhuvi guna manjaryakhya ya prasiddha kali jana karunavir bhavakena prayukta madhura rasavi Oh madhura rasa vishesha lada vistaranaya spuratun sahridi mego Swami Gopāla Bhaṭṭa avirala galadashru svedadhara bhirama prachura pulaka kampa stambha ucharya nama ha 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 hari rityadya ksharadhyonta ha 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 harir ityadyaksharad yonta cheta spurato sariti me Gosvāmī Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Vrajagata nija bhava swadama swadamadyan natati hasati gaya tyunmadam vipramadya kalita kalijanodaragyaya bahya drishtya spurato sariti me Gosvāmī Gopāla Bhaṭṭa vidita pada padartha prema bhakti rasartha shrita rati rasabheda swadaneya samartha idam akhila tamogna stotra ratnam pradhanam patati bhavati soyam manjari yutalina Spurato saridi me Gosvāmī Gopāla Bhaṭṭa 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 Jaya Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Prabhu Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Prabhu Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Jaya Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gopāla Bhaṭṭa. All right, Jai Śrī Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī ki Jai. Now we will move on to read about Śrī Rāmacandra Kavirāja Gosvāmī. Oh, and Kishore Krishna just made the point that Rāmacandra Kavirāja is the grand disciple of Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī. Okay, very interesting. Okay. Ki esce? Okay. Oh, who else is there? Okay. One second. Let me just move. I'm just fixing something up. There. Okay. All right. So now we're reading about Śrī Rāmacandra Kavirāja. I hope nobody steals that translation that Shivas never published and just sent to me. Anyhow. Okay, Śrī Rāmacandra Kavirāja. This is also from Śrī Caitanya and his associates by Srila Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha Goswami Maharaj. Swardhunyastira bhuma. Tira bhuma. No, what's the meter for this? I don't even know. I'm just gonna say it however. Sarajani nagare gora bhuma bhumpari patrad. This is annoying. Brahmanyad Vishnu Bhaktad api suparicharitat Shri Chiranji Vasenat. Ya Shri Ramendra whatever. I really don't know what the meter is for this, so. Ya Shri Ramendra Nama Samajani Parama Shri Sunanda Bidayam Soyam Shri Man Narakhe Sahi Kavi Nirpati Samya Rasid Abhinna. Oh, I think I got it now. Anyways, doesn't matter. Swardhunyastira bhuma Sarajani Nagare Goda Bhumpari Patrad. Anyways, whatever. This is from the Sangita Madhav Natak, quoted in Bhakti Ratnakar 1-270. I think this is Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta. Yeah, that is. It's the same meter as that. Okay, anyways, doesn't matter. Ramacandra, a great devotee with an attractive form, was born in the town of Sarajani on the banks of the Ganga as a son of Sunanda and Chiranjeev Sen, a well-known minister of the king of Goda, a devotee of the Brahmanas and Vishnu. Ramacandra was not in any way different from Narottam Das Thakur, the king amongst the poets. Wow. Now this is these are from verses quoted in Gaudiya Vaishnava Abhidan, what we're reading right now. Chiranjeev Sen was a resident of Śrī Khanda. His wife's name was Sunanda. They had 2 virtuous sons. The elder was Ramacandra, the younger was Govinda. Ramacandra was a disciple of Srinivasa Acharya and received the title Kavirāja. His Siddha name was Karuna Manjari. Okay. Ramacandra Kavirāja was born in a Vaidya family. After the death of his father, he went to live in Kumar Nagar with his maternal grandfather, Damodar Kavirāja, who was a disciple of Narahari Sarkar. Later, he went to live with his younger brother Govinda Kavirāja in the village of Tela Budhari in the Murshidabad district. This place has a distinction of being his Shripat. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswāmī Thakur, however, mentions that Ramacandra Kavirāja's Shripat is in Kumar Nagar. Okay? Ramachandra's wedding. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswāmī Thakur has written that Ramacandra Kavirāja was a lifelong renunciate and never married. Haridas Das, on the other hand, writes in his Gaudiya Vaishnava Abhidan that Ramacandra did get married, but never lived with his wife. Srinivasa Acharya saw Ramacandra as a groom and said a few words to him about the temporary nature of material life, thus awakening within him an indifference to worldly life such that he never took up the duties of householder life. This story has been taken from a book which is not accepted as authoritative by everyone. The following quote is taken from there. So it says, Srinivasa Acharya said, "Just look at how much enthusiasm everyone has for this wedding. They are spending so much money. And for what? Just to purchase illusion and quarrel. They don't know that Maya has placed a noose around their neck, and so they take great interest in the auspicious invocatory rituals. People celebrate weddings thinking that they are auspicious when they are not, and that they have been fulfilled when they have not." Okay, so something like that happens, but it's not taken from an authoritative book by everyone. A book that's not authoritative by everyone. Interesting. Okay. The Kaviraj title. Srinivasa Acharya was so overcome with affection for Ramacandra that he gave him the Diksha mantra and engaged him as his personal servant. He had unparalleled devotion to his guru and would follow his guru's words without any kind of reservation. Though Virahamvir became Srinivasa Acharya's disciple, Ramacandra Kaviraj acted as his Shiksha Guru. Ramacandra Kaviraj also visited Vrindavan, where he associated with Jiva Goswami and the other Vaishnavas, receiving their blessings. They were very pleased to hear his poetry, so much so that Jiva Goswami gave him the title. It was Jiva Goswami who gave him the Kaviraj title. He was thus one of the 8 Kavirajas, the Ashta Kaviraj. In the Choshati Mahanta, they're divided into different groups, and he was one of the Ashta Kavirajas. He was Narottam Thakur's favored companion for preaching activities and spiritual association. Paramananda Bhattacharya, an ocean of love. This is a quote from Bhakti Ratnakar, 1st chapter, verses 267-269. It says, Paramananda Bhattacharya, an ocean of love, Jiva Goswami, and the other residents of Raj listened to Ramacandra recite his own poetic compositions, and they joyfully awarded him the title of Kaviraj. Ramacandra Kavirāja is full of all virtues, and he is Narottam Das's second self. Kongsari Sen, Rama Sen, Ramacandra Kavirāja, and three Kavirajas, Govinda, Śrī Ranga, and Mukunda, are Nityananda Prabhu's branches. That's from Adi Leela chapter 11, verse 51. Ramacandra wrote several books, including Smaran Chamatkar, Smaran Darpan, Siddhanta Chandrika, and Srinivasa Acharyar Jivan Rachit. Wow, he wrote a biography about Srinivasa Acharya. Very interesting. I wonder if any of these books are still available. Ramacandra in Vrindavan. Narahari Chakravarti has written an extensive description of Ramacandra and his visits to Vrindavan in the 9th wave of Bhakti Ratnakar. Everyone would get attracted by his unblemished, divinely effulgent form. When Ramacandra visited the Radha Damodar temple with Jiva Goswami and saw the deities and Rupa Goswami's samadhi, he experienced ecstatic transformations that were a source of amazement to all. Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī, Lokanath Goswami, and Bhugarbha Goswami gave him their blessings. He went to bathe in Radhakund and Shamakund and met with Raghunath Das Goswami there. He paid obeisances to Das Goswami. The venerable saint affectionately embraced him and felt ecstasy. Raghunath Das Goswami embraced him and felt ecstasy. Sri Narottam Das Thakur has prayed for the association of Ramacandra Kaviraj in his prarthana. He says, Toya koro Śrī Acharya Prabhu Srinivas Ramacandra Sangha Mage Narottama Dasa. That's the song Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Toya Koro More. Be merciful, Srinivasa Acharya Prabhu. Narottam Das begs for Ramachandra's association. Okay, now this verse is also from the Sangita Madhav Natak, quoted in Bhakti Ratnakar 1-277. So I think this is a meter, Vandeham Shri Guru. Yo Shashvar Bhagavat Paryana Paro Sangsaro Parayano. Yo Shashvar Bhagavat Parayana Paro Sangsara Parayano. Samyak Satvata Tantra Vada Paramo Nishesha Siddhantago Shashvar Bhakti Rasa Pradana Rasiko Pashandarin Mandala Anyonya Parita Varena Yugali Bhuta Vimoto Numa. My God, that's the meter. That's what is it called? Sragdhara, meter of Śrī Gosvāmī Ashtakam. I don't know why it took me so long to get that. Okay, I pay my obeisances to Narottam and Ramacandra Prabhus, who are always fond of dedication towards devotion to the Supreme Lord, who help people to cross over the ocean of material life, who know all the scriptures completely and they have understood the transcendental doctrines, who are the most generous with the distribution of bhakti ras, who won the hearts of the atheists, and who are constantly attached to each other's affectionate company. I pay my obeisances to that Narottam and Ramacandra Prabhus. Ramacandra Kaviraja's disappearance day is the Krishna Tīrtha in the month of Magh. He disappeared in Vrindavan after the disappearance of Srinivasa Acharya. Jai Śrī Rāmacandra Kavirāja ki Jai. All right, so that is our reading for Ramacandra Kaviraj, and now we're going to take a look at today's also the disappearance day of Nayanananda. What is it? Nayanananda? Is it Nayananda Das Babaji Maharaj, or is it Nayanananda? anyways, we'll see. So it's Kishore mentioned that. Wait, first I want to look in a life of devotion. A life devotion 2020. There. Let's check this. I think I remember seeing something about him. But the diacritics are a very strange system. Because this book was published a long time ago. So I think, let me copy this A. I think that will work. Because I have to type it exactly, otherwise I won't find it. Hey, it's not letting me copy. What the heck? How come it's not letting me copy anything? Here. Dang it, I can't select anything. Anyhow, let's see if we can do this. Let's just type in Nyan, see what comes up. Dang it. Anyhow, I'm not sure if I'll be able to find this. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to find him in here. Dang it. That's it. I don't know. Let's see if any words work. Okay, that works. Let's try. Okay, that works at least. Okay, does it show? Oh God, it doesn't show lists. Anyways, let's see. No, this Sundaran. No, this is not a good way, not a very efficient way. Oh, I know. B. There we found it. Okay, so Sri Bhakti Gaura Vaikanas Maharaj was a very dear disciple of Srila Prabhupada. He was known for his Sanskrit scholarship and his expertise in deity worship and Vaishnava rites. Before coming to Srila Prabhupada, he used to be the royal priest and court pundit of a few Mahārajas of India. Srila Bhakti Gaura Vaikanas Maharaj was very affectionate to Sri Pranavananda Prabhu, whom he gave the name Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj. Wow, he was the one who gave him the name Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj. Here, Bhakti Pramod means one who is joyful in devotion. Two other godbrothers of his, Sri Ananda Panda, that's Sri Ananda Lila Maya Vigraha Prabhu, and Sri Sat Prasangananda Prabhu, who later received sannyas from Srila Puri Maharaj and became known as Sri Nayanananda Babaji, were also present to participate in the ceremony. Okay, let's see what more we can find about him. Hey, what happened to the mouse? And actually, his samadhi is at Gopinath Gaudiya in Mayapur. I can't even find what I copied. That is so ridiculous. Anyways, so I can't search. What did I do before? Nanda. There. Okay, can't find anything else. Yeah. Anyhow, at least we know he's a disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And all right, so now what should we do? Let's check vcvani.com. Still have a few more minutes. Oh wait, Kishore mentioned that he wrote an offering in Mula Prakriti's book. So let's see. A friend to all. A friend to all what? Here, I found it. Okay. So, Where is it? There, Nayanananda Das Babaji Maharaj. He is, what page is that? How come it doesn't give page numbers? Anyways, I can just copy his name. Thanks, guys, for I didn't prepare anything at all, as you can tell. So, okay, find. Next. Okay. So, Shripad Nayanananda Das Babaji Maharaj was initiated by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. This interview was recorded on March 9, 1999. Since that time, Shripad Babaji Maharaj has left this world. So Nayanananda Das Babaji Maharaj said, I live at Champahati in Navadvip Dham in Gaur Mandal, and I am the Sevite of the Gaur Gadadhar temple. Oh wow, that's really cool. I took Babaji Vesh from one of my godbrothers, Srila Bhakti Puri Goswami Maharaj, as we just found out. This is one of the first temples used by the Gaudiya Math for pilgrimages, and it is where Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj and his Gauda Mandal Parikrama base. That was the base for the Gauda Mandal Parikrama. Every year, thousands of devotees camped out on the lawn beside the mandir. I usually lived in Champahati since it was my family's place, but I would frequently visit Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj's mat at Bagh Bazar in Kolkata, and it was there that I first met Abhay Charan Prabhu in 1927. We used to associate together in the mat. I made a close friendship with him at that time, although I was a brahmachari and he was a grihastha. Because he waited 11 years before he took initiation, I was initiated before him. However, he was older than me and senior in many ways, senior in age, senior in qualification, and even senior in meeting our Gurudev. Abhay Prabhu behaved very humbly to everyone, even though he was senior in many ways to most of the people who came later during those 11 years. He would always pay dandavat to others just because they had taken initiation first. Though he made that devoted connection with our Gurudev first, he didn't formally take initiation until later on because of his family and his business. I clearly recall how very serious, simple, and humble he was. Sometimes when I was in Kolkata, I would go to visit him at Sita Kantar Banerjee Lane, where he had his home and chemical business. Sat Prasangananda Brahmachari, who is 93 years old now, and Satish Prabhu, who is 73, used to accompany me when I visited his house on Sita Banerjee Lane. He was very affectionate to us. He always welcomed guests into his home. He opened his house to any Vaishnavas from the Gaudiya Math, whether they were his godbrothers or young brahmacharis who weren't godbrothers and hadn't even been initiated. When we used to go out on preaching programs in Kolkata, we would sometimes finish very late at night. We would go to his house at that late hour, and his policy was to open his door to have us stay with him, even though we had not given him any warning. We would come and knock on his door, and he would always open the door and welcome us in. Often he would give us his own room, and he would sleep out in the living room himself. When we woke up in the morning, he would cook and offer prasadam to us. We came there so many times. On many occasions, I also came as a guest at his house along with Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj. I recall that later, when Abhay Charan Prabhu was living in Kolkata, he told us that he didn't keep installed deities in his home at that time because his wife and family weren't so favorable. His wife was actually initiated by Bhakti Saranga Gosvāmī Maharaj, who was one of his godbrothers. Prabhu had arranged for her to be initiated, but she wasn't so much involved. He had his own room in the house, and he kept it very pakka, to a very high-class standard. He had photos on the altar of Radha Krishna deities, Shishi Gaur, Nitai Gaur, and his Gurudev. He worshipped all those pictures every day and offered all the bhog in the house to them. He did most of that seva himself. We noticed how carefully he kept that standard. As far as I understood, Abhay Charan Prabhu kept the highest standards from the time that he first met Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and especially later. We saw that he chanted 64 rounds a day, even though he hadn't requested formal initiation. And this was during the time that he was working full-time in his business. Wow. Whenever we met him, he was chanting 1 lakh of names, 64 rounds a day, every day. Whenever he got time from work, he would immediately go to associate with the different devotees of the Gaudiya Math. He often went to Bagh Bazaar, and sometimes he would also go by train to Navadvip and Mayapur. I distinctly recall some very special occasions involving Abhay Charanaravinda Prabhu and our Gurudev. The first occurred at the Sri Caitanya Math in Sri Dham Mayapur. Our Gurudev, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada, used to pace along the balcony of his quarters upstairs. One day I was visiting while he was pacing there, surrounded by a crowd of many top sannyasis and brahmacharis. Then I saw that Abhay Charanaravinda Prabhu had come on a visit from Kolkata and was walking up the stairs. Somehow, our Gurudev immediately noticed him coming, and as he was walking there by his doorway, he motioned for Prabhu to come near him. Prabhu approached him slowly and humbly, and Gurudev greeted him warmly and affectionately, and then opened his door and beckoned Prabhu to come inside alone with him. They remained inside for some time. All the other devotees were amazed that Gurudev showed this preference to a grihastha in white cloth living outside the math. Everyone was discussing this. I especially noticed how beautiful and effulgent he was looking when he came out of Gurudev's room. The last year that our Gurudev organized and performed Gaudamandal Parikrama, thousands and thousands of pilgrims assembled at our Champahati Mandir. There was a whole village of tents in all directions. On the afternoon of the last day, one of our godbrothers had just arrived in Navadvip, having returned from London by boat. He had gone to preach, but had returned without meeting with full success. In the evening, while Guru Mahārāja was giving pravachan, he explains that it was his earnest desire that the teachings of Caitanya Mahaprabhu should be spread in the Western countries. He told how it was the vision of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur that this would happen, and it was also the last request of his mother, Srimati Bhagavati Devi. That was her request to him before she left this world. Consequently, he had been willing to take the lifeblood of the Gaudiya Math in funds to send devotees there to preach. But so far, these attempts had been largely unsuccessful. At this moment in his talk, I noticed that something very mysterious was happening. Guru Mahārāja was looking out at the large crowd of devotees, especially in the front where all the sannyasis and brahmacharis in red cloth were. Then he turned his head and looked over to his left side where I was standing. He was looking intensely at someone and became silent for a long moment. I happened to look behind me, and I clearly saw that the person with whom he was making eye contact was Abhay Charanaravinda Prabhu. I thought that they were looking at each other in a special way. Then Guru Mahārāja again addressed the audience in front of him and said, "But I have a prediction. However long in the future it may be, I predict that one of my disciples will cross the ocean, and that devotee will bring back the whole world." I remembered this incident, and Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj truly made it come to pass exactly in this way. Wow. And I wonder if that's what he was ordering him when he went inside, when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada brought Srila Prabhupada into his room at that moment and closed the door and was in there for a long time with him. Who knows, but yeah, wow, amazing. All right, Jai Shri Nayanananda Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Tutiya Shubha Tirobhav Titi, I think, right? Let's see. Yes, Tutiya Shubha Tirobhav Titi ki jai. All right, so that is our program for today. Let's quickly check if there's anything extra on Pure Bhakti and Vishuddha Chaitanya Vani. One second. vcvani.com. Okay, well, there's definitely going to be something about Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī, but I wonder if there's anything that we didn't read about. Let's hear how Srila Bhakti Vigyan Paraji Goswami Maharaj tells the story of the marriage thing. It's told in different ways. Okay, yeah, it's right here. Okay, so let me hide this. Today is the Tirobhav of Srila Rāmacandra. This is Srila Bhakti Vigyan Paraji Goswami Maharaj from a class that he gave on January 17th, 2015. Today is the Tirobhav of Śrī Rāmacandra Kavirāja, a disciple of Srila Srinivasa Acharya. Just after his marriage, Srila Rāmacandra Kavirāja was following in a grand procession wherein people praised the couple for appearing as beautiful as Indra Indrani or Lakshmi Narayan. However, when Srila Srinivasa Acharya saw the procession, instead of praising the couple, he became highly afflicted, thinking of the bridegroom becoming entangled in the material world. Realizing this, Srila Rāmacandra Kavirāja, the bridegroom, he turned around and fell at the feet of Srila Srinivasa Acharya and said, "Guruji, I have come." Then and there, he surrendered and never returned. Srila Rāmacandra Kavirāja was an intimate associate of Srila Narottam Das Thakur. In Keturi, he used to perform kirtan and other devotional activities with Srila Narottam Das Thakur. I don't think the people in that marriage procession were too happy with Srinivasa Acharya. Okay. Only by Vaishnav's mercy. The brother of Srila Rāmacandra Kavirāja was Govinda Das. He was a Shakta. He was a worshipper of Shakti, Devi worshipper. When Govinda Das fell ill and his final moments were approaching, Srila Rāmacandra Kavirāja began to pray for his brother, Ante Narayana Smriti, that in his final moments he should leave his body having remembrance of Bhagavan Narayan. There's this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 1, Verse 6. Etavan Sankhya Yoga Bhyam Swadharma Parinishtaya Janmalabha Parapungsam Ante Narayana Smriti. The meaning is, the highest perfection of human life, achieved either by complete knowledge of matter and spirit, by practice of mystic powers, or by perfect discharge of occupational duty, that highest perfection of human life is to remember the personality of Godhead at the end of one's life. Ante Narayana Smriti. As a result, Srila Rāmacandra Kavirāja prayed to Srila Narottam Das Thakur. He said, "You are a Param Vaishnav. By your desire, my brother will attain the mercy of Bhagavan. For his auspiciousness, kindly recites the Srimad Bhagavatam for him." Srila Narottam Das Thakur, however, not considering himself a Vaishnav, summoned Srinivasa Acharya by a handwritten letter requesting him to recite the Srimad Bhagavatam to Govinda Kavirāja. By hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, Govinda Kavirāja was transformed, and in the process, this kirtan sprang forth from his lips as he became a Vaishnav. Bhajahure mana Shrinanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. O mind, just worship the lotus feet of the son of Nanda, which make one fearless. And then Keturi Mahotsav. Once, following the dictates of a dream, Narottam Das Thakur visited an abandoned granary belonging to a Brahmin and asked for permission to access it. Despite being forewarned that nobody dared to venture there, as the place was infested with many poisonous serpents, Narottam affirms that he didn't mind and was not harmed by any snakes as he entered. Rather, there he discovered 6 deities, which were actually being guarded by those poisonous serpents. The 6 deities discovered were Śrī Gaurangadev, Śrī Vallabhikanta, Śrī Vrajamohan, Śrī Radhakanta, Śrī Radharaman, and Śrī Krishna. At that time, Śrī Janavamata was the chief amongst the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So when Srila Narottam Das Thakur turned to her for guidance, she instructed. She said, "These deities are self-manifest, and hence no formal installation, no formal pran-pratishtha is necessary. Only Maha Abhishek need be performed. Invite Srinivasacharya to perform the Maha Abhishek, while Shyamananda, Ramacandra Kavirāja, and you do the service of performing Kirtan. Invite all the Vaishnavas in and around Gauda Mandal, Kshetra Mandal, and Braja Mandal, and befittingly arrange everything." A festival of that stature had never been held anywhere to date. Even to this day, the Keturi Mahotsav, the great festival of Keturi, is very famous and unprecedented. It was a time when all of Mahaprabhu's, for the very first time, all of Mahaprabhu's associates from all the different branches of the Caitanya tree we hear about in Chaitanya Charitamrita, everybody came together in one spot. And it's one of the most beautiful descriptions, like Leelas, I've ever heard. Oh my God, like the kirtan that they did. And then when Advaita Acharya manifested and Nityananda like directly manifested, it wasn't even just like a spurti or anything like that. Like they directly manifested, and everybody was feeling so much separation from him. You know, imagine Achyutananda is there and he's saying Advaita Acharya again. And like, oh, everybody, it's like such a dramatic, intense Leela, that one. I'd love to read. I've never read it directly from Bhakti Ratnakara or anything like that. It'd be really nice to read that sometime. I've just heard people tell the story. Krishna Kurni Maharaj told it really nicely. Okay, so after the festival of Keturi, Srila Srinivasacharya returned to Vrindavan with Srila Ramacandra Kavirāja. Following this, Srila Ramacandra Kavirāja never again left Vrindavan. Srila Srinivasacharya's samadhi is there at Tīrtha, and just next to him is a samadhi of Srila Ramacandra Kavirāja, his intimate servitor. Prarthana and Prem Bhakti Chandrika. In the mood of great separation on the disappearance day of Ramacandra Kavirāja, 2 great works sprang from the lotus mouth of Srila Narottam Das Thakur. One is Prem Bhakti Chandrika, and the other one is Prarthana. In those prayers, Srila Narottam Das Thakur has prayed, "Daya karo Shri Acharya Prabhu Srinivasa, Ramacandra Sangha Mage Narottama Dasa." We just read that. So Narottam Das begs for the association of Ramacandra Kavirāja. In this regard, Narottam Das Thakur said, "If I get a human birth, I must get an associate like Srila Ramacandra Kavirāja." Later, he resided in Vrindavan, and at the end of his life, he established himself in Jagannath Puri, where devotees in his disciplic succession still serve in his mat. Interesting. Vaishnav Seva grants the ultimate. So the Avirbhav and Tirobhav of Vaishnavas are both auspicious. Jai Vaishnav Sevile, Jai Vaishnav Sevile, Achinta Krishna Pai, Taha Hoite Boro Ar Kichunai. Who said this? Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. Just as glorifying the activities and qualities of Bhagavan is auspicious, so is the glorification and activities and qualities. So is the glorification of the activities and qualities of Vaishnavas. Actually, the glorification of the activities and qualities of the Vaishnavas has been given more importance. Jai Vaishnav Sevile Achinta Krishna Pai. That personality, whom we cannot perceive or conceive of with our materially contaminated senses, becomes conceivable by serving the Vaishnavas. That is why Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj instructed my Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur to prepare the Navadvip Panjika, the Vaishnav Panjika, to include all the auspicious occasions like Janmashtami, Akadashi, and other important tithis, such as the appearance and disappearance days of various Vaishnavas. Under his guidance, we also publish a Panjika, and by seeing the descriptions of the respective titis therein, we speak about the Vaishnavas. We glorify the Vaishnavas. Jai Śrī Rāmacandra Kavirāja ki Jai. Oh, I'm just seeing the. I always thought this was Narottam Srinivas and Shyamananda Prabhu, but I guess it's actually Narottam Srinivas, and I guess it's Ramachandra Kaviraj. Huh, interesting. Okay. So yeah, that's a very famous picture. All right. So it is now 8:27. That's a good time to end. Yeah. All right. Actually, maybe we can sing the Śrī Gosvāmī Ashtakam for anybody who wants to stay for that. Yeah. 1 second. I'm just going to open that up, and then yeah, we'll sing Śrī Gosvāmī Ashtakam and then end. Hari Bol, Janardhan Prabhu. Okay. 1 second. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Interesting. I've never seen that one before. Okay, let's big text. There. Okay, so singing Śrī Gosvāmī Ashtakam. Written by Srila Srinivas Acharya. And then we'll end. O Krishnot Kirtana Gana Nartana Paro Premamritam Bhunidhi Dhira Dhira Jana Priyo Priyakaro Nirmatsaro Pujito Shri Caitanya Kripa Bharo Bhuvi Bhuvo Paravahantarako Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopāla Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipuno Sadharma Samstapako Lokanamittakarino Tribhuvane Mano Sharanyakaro Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Nandena Mataliko Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopāla Shri Gauranga Gunarnuvarnana Vido Shraddha Samritanvito Papotapanikrintano Tanupritam Govinda Gana Ritai Anandam Buddhivardhanaika Nipuno Kaivalya Nistarako Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopāla Yaktva Turnama Shesha Mandalapati Shrening Sada Tuchavat Bhutva Dina Ganesha Ko Karunaya Kopena Kanta Shrito Gopi Bhavar Samritabdi Lahari Kalola Magno Muhur Sanatano Raghuyugo Śrī Jiva Gopāla Go Pujat Kokila Hangsa Sara Sagana Kirne Mayura Kule Nana Ratna Nibaddha Mola Vitapa Śrī Yukta Vrindavane Radha Krishna Mahārnisham Prabhajato Jivartado Yomuda O Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugo Śrī Jiva Gopāla Go Sankhya Purvaka Nama Gana Nati Bhi Kala Vasani Krito Nedrahara Vihara Kadi Vijito Chatyanta Dino Chayo Radha Krishna Guna Smrite Madhurima Nandena Sammohito Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugo Śrī Jiva Gopāla Go Radha Kunda Tate Kalinda Tanaya Tire Chavangshi Vate Prenmon Marava Shara Shesha Dashaya Grasto Pramato Sada Gayanto Chakada Hare Gunavarang Bhava Vibhuto Muda Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugo Śrī Jiva Gopāla Go He Radhe Vraja Devike Jalalite He Nanda Suno Kuta Śrī Govardhana Kalpa Pada Patale Kalendi Vanye Kuta Goshanta Viti Sarvato Vrajapure Kedar Maha Vivalo Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugo Śrī Jiva Gopāla Go O Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugo Śrī Jiva Gopāla Go Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jaya Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Prabhu Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Jaya Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Jaya Gopāla Bhaṭṭa Jaya Rāmacandra How do you do this? Jaya Rāmacandra Kavirāja Jaya Rāmacandra Kavirāja Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Okay, Kishore, could you do
I
Jaidwani?
sent some pictures.
Oh, okay, let's check out the pictures Kishore sent. 1 second, let me open this up on WhatsApp. Oh, cool. Now we know what Nayanananda Das Babaji Maharaj looks like. Wow. Actually, here, I'll zoom in. Wow, very nice face. Actually, I was when I was in Mayapur for a few months, and I would go to Gopinath Gaudiya Math sometimes in the evening time for Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj's like the arati there. And right after, every day in Gopinath Gaudiya Math, right after they do arati and his samadhi, then they go downstairs to the side where there's Nayanananda Das Babaji Maharaj's samadhi, and they do parikrama and they sing Ohe Vaishnav Thakur every day. It's part of their daily schedule there. So they must be having a festival at Gopinath Gaudiya Math today for that. Oh, cool. Okay, so there's Narottam Das Thakur, I guess Srinivasacharya in the middle, I'm guessing. Then Shyamananda Pandit, I'm guessing that's Shyamananda Pandit. And then Rasikananda, I'm guessing that's Rasikananda on the left side. And then Ramacandra Kavirāja. They were the leaders of Lord Chaitanya's movement in the 16th century and would often meet to discuss Krishna consciousness. Wow, that's a really cool picture. All right, thanks, Kishore. All right, you can do Jaidwani.
Jai, Jai Nitai, Jai Sabrikar, Sheshi Gurgauranga, Ganhar Vikar Girirhari, Radha Vinod Bihari, Radha Nainath, Radhraman Bihari, Radha Marva, Shishi Mahaprabhu, Radhraman Jew Ki Jai, Sri Govinda Gopinath, Maran Mahan Jew Ki Jai, Jai Natyale Pravishtam Vishnu Par, Paramaham Sabri Vrachachari Varyastotrashta Shishaman Bhakti Vigan Bharati Goswami Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. जय नित्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपार परमहंस प्रियव्रजचारि वर्यस्तोत्रस्त शिशुमान भक्तिभ्रांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज पति पावन श्रील गुरुदेव की जय नित्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपार स्तोत्रस्त शिशुमान भक्ति बल्लभ तीर्थ गोस्वामी महाराज की जय नित्यालेल प्रविष्टं विष्णुपार स्तोत्रस्त शिशुमान भक्तिभ्रांत वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय नित्यालेल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद शिल भक्ति स्वरूप दामोदर महाराज की जय नित्यालेल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद शिल गौरगंध स्वामी महाराज की जय नित्यालेल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद शिल भक्ति भाई भाव पुरी गोस्वामी महाराज की जय नित्यालेल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्रस्त शिशुमान शिल नयनानंद दास भविष्य महाराज की जय शिल नयनानंद दास भविष्य महाराज शुभ तिरुभा महामहोत्सव की जय जय नित्यालेल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद शिल भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोस्वामी महाराज की जय नित्यालेल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद शिल भक्ति गौरव खानस गोस्वामी महाराज की जय नित्यालेल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद शिल भक्ति रक्षक श्रीदार देव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय जय नित्यालेल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र शिशुमान भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय नित्यालेल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र शिशुमान भक्ति मार्ग गोस्वामी परम गुरु महाराज की जय नित्यालेल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र शिशुमान भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज परम गुरुदेव चार्य केशरी की जय नित्यालेल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र शिशुमान जगद्गुरु शिव वर्षभानाभि द्वैतराज शिल भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय स्वापरिकार शिल प्रभुपाद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर की जय नित्यालेल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद महापरम भगवत परवार परमहंस स्तोत्र शिशुमान गौर किशोर दास भविष्य महाराज की जय नित्यालेल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद सप्तम गोस्वामी स्तोत्र शिशुमान सचिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर महाशय की जय नित्यालेल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद वैष्णव सर्वम स्तोत्र शिशुमान जगन्नाथ दास भविष्य महाराज की जय श्री कुंदवासी सिद्ध शिलमरि सुंदास भविष्य महाराज की जय श्री उर्वरास उदरन दास की जय जय गुरुविरान आचार्य श्री शिल बलदेव विभूषण प्रभु की जय महामहोपध्याय रसिक शिरोमणि शिल विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर पार की जय शिल रसिकानंद मुरारी प्रभु की जय जय शिल रामचंद्र कविराज की जय जय शिल रामचंद्र कविराज की जय जय शिल रामचंद्र कविराज शुभ तिरुभाव तिथि महामहोत्सव की जय जय श्री लोचन दास ठाकुर की जय जय शिल नरोत्तम श्रीनिवास श्यामानंद प्रभु त्राय की जय शिल कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय व्यसवतार अर्का विशल वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय। श्री अष्टकविराज शुभ सुरजान नित्यानंद दुर्श गोपाल श्री चौषति महंत जगाय मदाय की जय। जय श्री रूपा श्री सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ सर्गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। चलो गोपाल भट्ट गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। चलो गोपाल भट्ट गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। जय श्री गोपाल भट्ट गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद शुभ आविर्भाव तिथि महामहोत्सव की जय। श्री गोपाल भट्ट गोस्वामी व्यास पूजा की जय। जय श्री स्वरूप दामोदर रोय रमानंद लोकनाथ पुगर्भ आदि गौर परिषार वृंद की जय। नमाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री शिल ईश्वरपुरी गोस्वामी पाद की जय। श्री शिल माधवेंद्रपुरी गोस्वामी पाद की जय। जय श्री अंतर्द्वीप मायापुर समन्वीप गौद्रमदीप मध्यदीप कौलुदीप ऋतुदीप चानुदीप मातरा द्रोमादीप रुद्रदीप मात्मक श्री नावदीप धाम की जय। श्री चंपहटी की जय। श्री चंपहटी मठ विग्रह गण श्री श्री गौर गदाधर जीव की जय। जय श्री एक चक्र धाम की जय। श्री शांतिपुर धाम की जय। श्री गौरचंद्र भगवान की जय। श्री श्री गदाय गौरंग की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ गोपी कपा गो गिरि गोवर्धन वर्षाटवना माक श्री ब्रजमंडल धाम की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गंग सखी आमन सखी तुलसी भक्ति देवी की जय। जय वृषभान नंदिनी श्रीमती राधा रानी ठाकुरानी की जय। श्री ललिता विशाखा चित्रा चंपकला तुंग विद्या इंदुलेखा रंग देवी सुदेवी अरि सखी वृंद की जय। श्री अनंग प्रेम मंजलाले शिरो बलवंगा राग विलस गुण रति कस्तूरी कमल नयन मणि अरिमंजारी वृंद की जय। जय श्री गुण मंजरी की जय। जय श्री गुण मंजरी की जय। जय श्री गुण मंजरी की जय। जय श्री अनंग मंजरी की जय। जय श्रीमती वृंद देवी की जय। जय श्री भगवती पूर्णमास युगमाय देवी की जय। जय श्री गोपीश्वर सरशिव महादेव की जय। जय राधा पटन की तदाम श्री वृंदावन की जय। जय श्री मथुरा धाम की जय। जय श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा सुदर्शन चक्र नीलमाधव जू की जय। श्री तत्व विनाथ की जय। श्री अलरनाथ की जय। श्री सर्वकुल की जय। श्री हरिदास ठाकुर समाधि मंदिर की जय। शिल परोपार आविर्भाव स्थली की जय। जय श्री जगन्नाथ पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र मंडल नीलाचल धाम की जय। जय सर्व विक्रम विनाशन करी विशान जय सर्व विक्रम विनाशन करी भक्त विक्रम विनाश शरीन्द्र सिंह देव की जय। जय भक्तराज भक्त प्रवर श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। श्री प्रहलाद लक्ष्मी नरसिंह देव की जय। जय श्री छरिदाम छरि संप्रदाय छरि आचार्य की जय। श्री मध्वार मनुज विष्णु स्वामी निम्बदित्य छरि आचार्य की जय। जय कर्मतरा श्री चैतन्य मान की जय और अन्य समूह की जय। श्री गौरी मार वृंद की जय। जय ग्रंथरा श्रीमाद भगवताम भगवद गीता चैतन्य चरितामृत चैतन्य भागवत जैव धर्म आदि सर्वगौरीय वैष्णव ग्रंथ वृंद की जय। श्री प्रार्थना की जय। श्री प्रेम भक्ति चंद्रिका की जय। जय त्रिभुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम प्रभु की जय। जय त्रिभुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन धर्म की जय। कुलकेर प्रेमदान श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। जय त्रिभुवन मंगल धन्य कलयुग तर्क ब्रह्म श्री हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे महामंत्र की जय। श्री आनंदपुरी वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री समकट गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री सर्गोत्तम अष्टकम की जय। जय प्रभुपाद शिल गोपाल भट्ट गोस्वामी की जय। श्री श्रीमान गोपाल भट्ट गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। श्रील गोपाल भट्ट गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद शुभ आविर्भाव महामहोत्सव की जय। जय श्री श्रीनिवास आचार्य की जय। जय श्री गोपीनाथ पुजारी की जय। जय श्री श्रीमान रामचंद्र कविराज की जय। श्री रामचंद्र कविराज शुभ आविर्भाव तिथि महामहोत्सव की जय। जय नित्यालेल प्रविष्टोम विष्णुपार स्तोत्र शिष्यमार नयन नंद दास पवशी महाराज की जय। Shalanai Das Parshimara Shuktir Bhav Mahamotsav ki jai. Jai Shri Gaur Gadadhar ki jai. Jai Shri Nitai Gaur Pramanande Hari Hari Bol. Shri Caitanya, His Life and Associates ki jai. Nitai Gaur Pramanande Hari Hari Bol. Om Vrindaye Tulsi Devyay Priyayay Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Pradevi Satyavyay Namo Namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhashta kripa sindhu devacha paritan pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Radha.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Hari Bol, everybody. Dandavat pranams. So I'll see you. Dandavat pranams, Kishore. Nuri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Mahi Bharat Prabhu, Dandavat pranams. Kishore Krishna, Shubhananda Prabhu, Champak Mataji, Devangana, sorry, Sharma ji, and who else is there? 1 second, let me just open up YouTube. Okay, Shachi Prabhu, Raseshwari Mataji, Hari Priya Didi, Vangshi Prabhu, Vidyalala Sadidi, Sudevi Didi, and Janardan Prabhu, and everybody else there. Dandavat pranams. So tomorrow we will continue on with our Chaitanya Bhagavat reading. We're going to read about, Mahaprabhu, after hiding for a long time, and Advaita Acharya fasting because he thought he committed an offense. And so he fasted, and finally, after, I think it was 3 days, Mahaprabhu, he calls Srivas Pandit, right? And anyways, we heard that already. And then Mahaprabhu goes to the house of Advaita, and he consoles Advaita Acharya. And then Advaita offers prayers for the Lord's service. And yeah, those are the topics that we're going to be reading in chapter 17 tomorrow. And we'll complete the chapter. So I hope to see you all there for that. And what are the next titis coming up? Jayadev Goswami in 4 days from now. Let's see. Okay, so it's going to be in 2 days. It's Srila Bhakti Sambandha Turya Shami Goswami Maharaj. Then 4 days from now, Jayadev Goswami. 7 days from now, Lochan Das Thakur. 9 days from now, Shatila Akadashi. Then Srila Trivikram Goswami Maharaj's appearance day is in 10 days. And then my Srila Gurudev's appearance day is in 12 days. So 2 days after Srila Trivikram Goswami Maharaj is my Gurudev's appearance day. That's February 9th, 12 days from now. And then Vasant Panchami and 7 appearance days and disappearance days. That's an overwhelming day of the year. Vasant Panchami, that's in 17 days from now, February 14th. I think that's Gopal's birthday. No, I can't remember. Yeah, and then Advaita Saptami in 19 days. And wow, so many titis. And 1 month from now is the 150th, exactly 1 month from now, 30 days from now, February 27th, is the 126th appearance day of my Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Brigyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. And then 2 days after that, 32 days from now, February 29th, is the 150th appearance day of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. Wow, all right. Oh, Kishore says that it's Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj's appearance day and Nara Hari Prabhu's disappearance day also in 2 days. Oops, I don't know why that's missing from my thing. I'll have to add that in. Thanks for mentioning that. Okay, I will do that. I'm happy I did this. Okay. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe. Does anybody have anything they want to say before we end? Okay. Hari Bol.